You know, there's a story I love I talk about all the time. It's the story of Ronald Read. He's a humble JCPenney janitor. He lived frugally and he took all of his extra money and all he did was buy stocks of household names. When he passed away at 92 years old, he had $8 million that he left behind and he gave most of it to charity.
Not all heroes wear caps, and Ronald Read is one of them. He worked as a janitor and gas station attendant, gaining fame after his death for donating $6 million to his local library and hospital. That donation was made possible by quietly making an $8 million investment fortune during his lifetime. There was no secret, lottery win, or inheritance that made that fortune possible. Like most people, you must think that it's impossible to make that much money with a modest salary. So the question is, what lessons can you learn and apply from this janitor who was among the 0.1% of Americans who died in 2014 with a net worth of over $8 million? Listening to those who knew him, it seems Ronald was really good at mastering 5 key principles. So let's go through them one by one. Frugality doesn't appeal to most people. It is often associated to pain and sacrifices, but according to Ronald's friends, frugality was the backbone of his success.
It was very, very frugal. Oh, incredibly frugal. Yeah. Pretty sure that one of the reasons he came here was not just to see us, but right, because the coffee was pretty inexpensive.
The equation is simple. If you live frugally and consistently save a portion of your monthly income, it gives you options. One option is to invest the money you haven't spent. If you stick to spending on the basics, you generate excess cash that can be used for investments. Like many people, your car is probably one of your most expensive items. The total cost of buying, leasing, or financing a car are significant. The average new car loan payments in the US is $700 a month. If you opt for a used car, skip a $700 a month car loan payment and invest $700 a month in an investment producing an 8% annual return, in 30 years, you would have $1 million. Is always driving around in a new car and paying for its loan really worth $1 million? When you look at it that way, deciding to take on a loan for a new car becomes quite challenging. If you do not have a need to convey high social status symbols to others, choosing a used car becomes much easier. Even if Ronald had millions in his bank account, he looked on the outside like someone who was broke.
He had this one story about when he went out for breakfast once. He was so touched. He was sitting there and some man went up to the counter and he paid for Ron's breakfast as well because he thought Ron wouldn't be able to afford it.
Let's keep going with our car example. If you see someone driving a nice car, you might assume that the owner is rich. Perception is not always reality, and some of those owners might be people who spend a large portion of their monthly income on a car. We often judge wealth based on what we see because this is the information in front of us. Since we cannot see people's bank accounts, we rely on their visible appearance, like their car, their home, or their Instagram pics. Ronald didn't have a fancy car, a shiny home, or beautiful Instagram pics in the Bahamas, but he surely had a bank account that many people would envy. There is a huge difference between looking wealthy and being wealthy. The urge to consistently look wealthy can sometimes be driven by a lack of self-esteem. Low self-esteem can lead you to make a lot of status-type expenses, to look rich and keep up with the Joneses, but it can limit your ability to build wealth. I define self-esteem as how you perceive your worth as a human being. This can be based on your own values or other people's values. When you have a high self-esteem and judge your worth based on your own values, you won't feel the need to make a lot of status-type expenses to impress others. When you have a low self-esteem and judge your worth based on other people's values, you will find yourself making a lot of status-type expenses to impress others. And guess what? This external validation comes with a cost. The cost is the money you could be investing. The key thing you need to remember is that wealth is hidden. It's the money you have saved and invested. The average annual salary of a janitor in the US is about $30,000. To accumulate $8 million with a $30,000 annual salary, a janitor would need to work for about 267 years. It's fair to say that this is impossible. So the question is, how do you do it then? The straightforward answer to that question is by investing and making your money work for you. This is the main difference between the rich, the middle class, and the poor people. The poor and the middle class work for money. The rich make money work for them. If you do not have the investor mindset, you will think that the only time to make money is from 9 to 5 by exchanging your time for an income. If you have the investor mindset, you understand that you can make money 24/7 by investing in assets. An asset is something valuable that you own, like a home or some stocks. It could be anything that has the potential to generate income or appreciate in value over time. Investors use assets to produce more assets. This is why the investor mindset is a must if you want to achieve a level of financial success similar to Ronald's. People might have seen him as a janitor, but it's fair to say that he saw himself as an investor first.
I'm sure if he earned $50 in a week, he probably invested 40 of it.
If you have big financial goals and you see yourself as an employee, I challenge you to see yourself as an investor first and an employee second, with your job supporting your investment activities. The good news is most of the things you need to develop superior investment skills are available at your fingertips. Warren Buffett, the world's best investor, has shared his knowledge with us over the years. He has always mentioned that he wants to be remembered as a teacher rather than an investor when he dies.
Plenty of time left, Warren, but got to ask you, what do you want to be remembered for?
As a teacher, yeah. That would be very flattering if I would feel if that was on my tombstone, because I benefited terrifically from teachers. Not all teachers who were employed as teachers, but teachings of all kinds. But
Ronald appeared to have benefited from Warren Buffett's lessons because, according to CNBC, he was a long-term investor and adopted this strategy from Warren Buffett. If you are interested in understanding why a long-term strategy is key for your investing success, you can find the link in the description to a video I recently made on this topic. Many people believe that investing depends on your IQ, and becoming a successful investor is something that only a minority can achieve. If this is also your perspective, consider changing your view, because even Warren Buffett believes that it has nothing to do with how smart you are.
you don't need to be a genius in what I do. That's the good thing about it. If I went into physics or a whole lot of other subjects, I'd be an also-ran. But I am in a game that you don't need. You probably need 120 points of IQ, but 170 doesn't do any better than 120. It may do worse, probably do worse, but you don't really need brains.
What do you need?
You need the right orientation. 90% of the people, I'm pulling a figure out of the air, but 90% of the people that buy stocks don't think of them the right way. They think about something that they hope goes up next week. And they think about the market as something they hope goes up. And if it's down, they feel worse. I feel better.
And you think about?
Pardon me?
And what do you think about?
I think about what the company's going to be worth 10 or 20 years from now. And I hope it goes down when I buy it, because I'll buy more.
Ronald's massive success is the perfect example of the point highlighted by Warren Buffett. He achieved amazing investment results that even a Stanford graduate in the finance field would envy given similar resources. I'm not implying that a janitor is less clever than a Stanford graduate. What I want you to grasp is that the criteria for success in investing are different from what you might think. By achieving what he has achieved, Ronald has opened the door that should make you believe that it is possible for you to do it as well. If you are convinced that you can and will do it, it's key to block out the surrounding noise for two main reasons. It keeps you from being overwhelmed by the constant noise surrounding the investment world, which can lead you to the wrong buy or sell decisions. It protects you from the negative messages you might receive from your environment, especially if you are a janitor aspiring to become a multimillionaire through investing. Ronald kept his investment practice private, and even his family didn't know that he was making millions through investing. It's difficult to be 100% sure as to why Ronald kept it as a secret. But if people in your circle believe that achieving your goals is impossible, it makes sense to avoid sharing your plans to prevent them from killing your dreams. In a world where people like sharing their next big project or showcasing their success on social media, I'd like to end this video with one impactful quote. Work hard in silence and let your success be your noise. This is it for today, guys. If you got value from this video, feel free to drop a like. And if you want to receive more contents like this, feel free to subscribe. Thank you all and peace out.